There. I'm here. You know what I forgot to do is go get my headphones. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. Hopefully this audio is working and we don't have double audio. I don't think we do. I think we're good. Let me just close that just in case. How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. Today is, what is it? July 5th, 4 o'clock. I went live a little bit earlier. Someone said there's an echo. Is there an echo? How about now? How about now? Is there an echo now? I hope not. It's hard because I can't tell because I can't hear it. See if it's fixed now. All right, I know what the issue is and I'll fix it afterwards because if I do it now, it'll screw up the whole sound. But now I just won't be able to play. Well, yes, I will. But yeah, long story short, today has just been one of those days. I've been trying to get as much done as I can here while dealing with the fallout from, having an opinion about something, because a lot of people took immense offense to the fact that I spoke out yesterday about pedophiles, which is really weird because all you guys call yourselves patriots. So, of course, we're going to talk about that. I will give a little disclaimer. I don't know who any of these online little YouTube channels are that are making videos with clips of what I talk about, and more power to them. Hopefully they actually provide some context into their videos instead of just trying to get views and pretend they're like the Quartering or something. You know who you are. But yeah, this whole thing, this is gonna be a long show, 2 hours likely. We're gonna talk about this 1776 restoration movement. We're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna talk about the mass shooting that occurred yesterday. And no, I'm not just talking about the July 4th parade mass shooting. No, we'll talk about the 8 other mass shootings that occurred yesterday that nobody wants to talk about. Or maybe we'll just dive deep and talk about the 20 mass shootings that occurred over the past 72 hours across America. But keep in mind, there's a big reason not a lot of people care to actually talk about all the mass shootings across the United States. Well, because simply they are racist. Yes, I said it. Mainstream media is racist because they won't talk about mass shootings that include black people for some reason. It's very odd. It's very odd. But at any rate, my name is Steve, and I host this show every single day, and I hope that you got your big boy pants on, okay? A lot of my longtime viewers are going to be a little surprised by some of this stuff I'm going to say because I feel like I have to give some context into why I started to speak out yesterday about in opposition, I suppose, to the 1776 Restoration Movement. And I'm not even really speaking in opposition to the movement itself, but rather the type of people that are involved in the movement. And so I'm going to do my best to try to put it all together in a clear and concise way so everyone understands. And we'll start with this very simple premise that sex offenders have no business existing in real life at all unless they're behind bars, and that's even questionable. I don't believe that sex offenders can be rehabbed. Under no circumstances do I believe sex offenders, people that abuse children, specifically children under the age of 14, can be abused, or I don't believe you can rehabilitate those types of people. And I don't think an innocent person being railroaded during a domestic, civil suit or whatever is going to plead guilty to 2 counts of molestation of a child and take a 20-year plea. That is just my opinion on it. And that is what Marcus Kopak, aka Bandit, of the 1776 whatever, this group that's protesting. And here's a lot of things. People, all right, I'm taking the gloves off because here's a lot of people yesterday were super critical of the fact that I said people that protest and block highways are criminals. If you fast forwarded to my audio from 2020 when I had 10,000 plus viewers and we're watching protests across America, and there was this little protest that was occurring on I forgot what interstate, but it was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And remember, there was a group of protesters, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd protesters, that were blocking an interstate there. And there was a family that was inside of a horse trailer. Well, they were driving a truck and they were carrying a horse trailer, and they had to make the awful decision to drive through the group of protesters as the protesters were throwing Molotov cocktails in the back, burning the horses, or attempting to burn the horses alive. You may remember that. Well, at that point, that was one of the decisions, in my determining factor that protests on the side of on interstates are criminal. There's no other, here's another one. I think it was in St. Louis, Missouri in May or June of 2020. A FedEx truck driver carrying tandems was driving down the road, right? He takes an exit because the interstate's blocked because protesters are on the street. As he goes down and he takes the exit, protesters are there as well. What do they try to do to this guy as they're protesting for social justice on the side of the road? Well, a good guy jumps up on the passenger side, hits a window with a gun, ordering the driver out. Another guy's on the driver's side window trying to smash out the window, while all the other peaceful protesters jumped on the back of the truck and started looting boxes out of the first trailer. So the FedEx driver has to make the awful decision to drive ahead. One of the looters, aka protester that was being peacefully protesting, ended up getting caught under the wheels and was dragged to his death I think he was dragged 200 yards. And he died as a result of that. Now, how could that have been curbed? Let me ask you. All of you guys answer the question. How could that have been curbed? All of those incidents of violence, the protesters in Seattle, Washington, at 1:35 in the morning on Interstate 5 or whatever, that are having a dance party in the name of George Floyd on the side of or in the middle of the highway. Remember when the car broke through and ran him over? The car, even though it was occupied and driven by a black man, they left that out and they wrote it was a white car. It was a racist attack on white BLM activists, but whatever. And that would have been avoided as well. And all the other incidents of these types of violence, they would have all been avoided if the federal government and state governments pursued laws that are already on the books to stop protesters from protesting on the roadway. It doesn't matter if you're blocking the truck. It doesn't matter what the example is that you're doing. You are still committing a crime. In 2020, every single day, you guys, probably the longtime viewers, know exactly about the Hobbs Act because I talked about it all the time. It's a federal law that prohibits people from protesting in demand of action from protesting on on interstates across the United States. I talked about it all the time. It's a federal felony. But it doesn't matter, because apparently we have this new group that call themselves patriots. And mind you, patriot is an overused word. Too many people are starting to use the word patriot, where now I no longer identify as a patriot, just as I no longer identify as a Republican. You know what I am? I'm a rational American that chooses to think and not just think with my heart or my ass. No, I think with my brain. It's a novel concept. I suggest a lot of you guys and gals, you know, mama fucking 45 or whatever your name is, talking all sorts of shit on Discord. I don't give a shit about any of you guys. I don't get in rivalries with social media influencers. I don't get in rivalries with other streamers. I could give two fucks about every single one of them. You know what I do in fact care for? I care about children and protecting children and defending children. And what is the way you can ultimately protect children from pedophiles? Not allow them to be around. The 776 restoration movement has made a determination by Almighty Santa, that's the guy David something, that it's perfectly acceptable for convicted child pedophiles who took 20-year minimum sentences in jail to be around other children, as long as they're supervised. He documented getting a letter directed from David whatever his name is, David Kopach's probation officer, and I know her name. It's Nicole. I talked to her about an hour ago. She didn't send a letter specifically to Santa. She sent this blanket authorization allowing him, as long as he has supervision around children, to be around children. If you know and you have a letter from a probation office, which mind you, I demanded to speak to the head probation officer, because I was like, is it your policy to allow people that are under judicial restraint, specifically for sexually assaulting small children, to participate in protests across the United States? Well, the supervisor's name, Mike, for all you fact checkers that want to pretend like I don't actually do a little bit of due diligence, well, he said no, they never gave permission for Kopach to go and protest and to be part of the 76 movement. No, they gave him permission to go to social gatherings, not protest and block roadways. Sorry, Kopach, you're probably going to get arrested or violated, because I had to call and do actual research and find out why the Grant County probation office was allowing one of their offenders to hang out around children and women. Now, everybody wants to say he's reformed. This was because of a domestic disturbance. Or no, this was because of a divorce. These were allegations that were never proven. Santa, even when he's doing his little interview with WYSIWYG, he says, the only way I'm going to change my mind on this is if someone presents evidence of the assault on the children. So let me get this right, you bearded shitbird. I'm so glad I don't have a beard because of you, David Santa, whatever your face is. You're a groomer. Under no ifs, ands, or buts about it, you, sir, are a groomer. If you allow child predators to be around other children knowingly without damaging them, then you are a groomer. You are allowing it. Let me ask you the difference, Santa. What is the difference between allowing children to go be read by a trans person that's dancing around and nothing, and then allowing a person that literally abused children by his own admission? Mind you, everyone wants to say, oh, he got railroaded. This is the government overstepping. He pled guilty. He pled guilty. And for all of you fact-checking shitbirds that don't want to believe the actual truth, guess what? We like to believe the actual truth. Hold on, I just minimized my screen too much. We like to provide the actual truth. Here's your actual truth. Here is his whole case file right here. It's available on the internet. You can all find it if you do your own bit of research. But look at this. He was arrested. The warrant was issued on May 3rd of 2007. And then he was sentenced. He pled guilty. He entered his guilty plea on January 9th of 2009. And then he was sentenced on the 2nd for one count, 20 years term, all credit time served for 514 days, and then that was for count one. And if you want to know what count one is, you can go up here. Count one, child molesting, a person who performs sexual intercourse or deviates sexual conduct with a child under, and then it cuts off because it's under 14 years old. So he pled guilty to 2 counts of sexually assaulting a child. And you want to say, oh, you want evidence? What are you, some sort of sicko? You want evidence? You want the actual charging complaint from a little child who had to to admit, you know, in front of a court and their family and everything that this person, you know, attacked her? Come on. Come on. And anybody who's an apologist for this, anybody who says, well, you can reform a sex offender, you are an idiot, sir. You are an idiot. And let me give you a little bit of background, okay? Some people know I was in foster care. When I was in foster care, I entered when I was 13. I got out, you know, essentially when I was 18 years old. I was in foster care. Unfortunately for me, I got shitty foster parents. My first foster home, I was there for 13 months. Then there was this problem. They wanted to adopt me, but I had to change my last name. I said, no, I'm proud of my last name, even though I wasn't proud of anything else about, you know, that situation. Long story short, I refused to change my last name. They turned into like the devil, and I ran away. That was my problem, is I continued to think that there was something better on the other side. So every single place that I was at, I would run away. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't really prepared to what was going on in the world at that point, and I didn't realize that 2 foster kids in Vermont at the very same time stabbed their foster parent, threw him in the trunk of a car, and threw him off a ravine. So of course now you have this kid, me, who is a runaway. I continuously run away from homes because I was seeking something. I couldn't tell you what it was, but I was in foster care and group homes and all that, and now they had a foster parent crisis because, well, foster kids did something horrible, so there were no homes for me to go to. So what did they do? They declared me a child in need of care and supervision. Anyone can look it up and what that entitles. They locked me up in a juvenile detention center. I had no charges, wasn't a criminal or anything, didn't commit crimes. No, I was locked up because I couldn't stay by foot. I kept running away, kept running away, kept running away. I, for 15 months, was locked up in a juvenile detention center, being a runaway, mind you, with actual criminals, with people that killed people, with pedophiles, with everything. And I can tell you what, in all honesty, there was one kid out of 19 that were in this long-term wing. There was one other kid, and he's my friend to this day. He and I, he stole cars and stuff like that. But he and I were the only ones out of this entire group that didn't kill kids or abuse them. So you know what we did? For 15 months, we beat the fuck out of these people consistently and constantly. That's what we did. And we had to sit, and I could tell you the awful stories. We had to sit. They were big on this restorative justice bullshit. We had to sit in a big circle while all these scumbag, soul-sucking assholes talked about their crimes. They're abusing these people. And what me and my friend now to this day, what we would do is we'd remember what they said, and then we'd make them pay for it every single night. We beat the fuck out of them, and we keep getting in trouble. But unfortunately, there was nothing they could do until I was 15, and then they kicked me out and said, go get your own apartment. You don't deserve to be here anyway. So when I have a special animosity towards people that victimize crimes, and that's the truth. And I don't talk a lot about my childhood life because, well, it sucked, but that's the truth of it. People who victimize children are the scum of the earth, and they don't change. The majority of the people that I was locked up with for that 13, 15 months, the majority of those people, they're all in jail right now for reoffending in the very same instance, for doing the very same thing. So anyone that wants to say they can change is full of shit, with 100% certainty. So you want to know, there's this vigor. Like, so you guys all know I hate Antifa, right? They're scumbag terrorists, whatever. Here's Antifa, like on a level of like fucked, and here are pedophiles. You can't even see it. It's like way up here, like where they don't deserve to breathe the air that we all breathe. So it pisses me off so much that a group that's even loosely affiliated with truckers, keep in mind Marcus Kopach had his authority to operate as a trucker removed in January of this year because he didn't pay his fucking insurance. But everyone wants to call him a trucker, blah, blah, blah. He only owned a trucking company for 2 years, or less than 2 years, and apparently didn't do that good. But he was participating in these trucker protests until he got kicked out. And then all of a sudden he finds out, oh, the 1776 Restoration Committee needs people. So they're going to now start, because you just heard anyone that was watching WYSIWYG shit a minute ago, you just heard him say, well, you know, we lost all these people when we started charging food, you know, food fees and all that stuff. Is that why you're allowing pedophiles? Because you need the money, sir? Is that why? It's so disturbing. It's so disturbing. And a lot of people are like, you know, talking about Maybe it's statutory rape. And let me explain what statutory rape is and how that's different from molesting a child. Okay, and I'm going to be careful here because we're on social media. Statutory rape is when a 17-year-old has a relationship with a 16-year-old or 15-year-old, and the parents find out and don't like said kid, and they go and arrest him. I, in fact, knew a kid that was he was 18, 2 days into his 18th birthday, and he was supposed to ship off to basic training for the Marine Corps. He had a girlfriend that was 15. It was fine when she was 15, he was 17. Nope, he turned 18. They had the goodbye, whatever, and then he shipped off to basic training. He was arrested at basic training, brought back, and charged with statutory rape. You know what he ended up doing? He fought. His family was rich. They had all sorts of attorneys. He did time, but then when he got out, he got his whole expunged. And he's been in the Marine Corps now for 15 years. Go figure that one out. But there's a huge difference between statutory rape which is still fucked up because I'll be honest, I've never. I didn't even have a girlfriend until I was in my 20s, to be completely honest, because I was a foster kid. I was running around, hiding, traveling the country, backpacking, doing stupid shit, trying to stay out of trouble. Never did drugs or or anything like that. But a lot of people want to be really quick and be like, oh, we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The fact is that the 1776 restoration movement committed crimes yesterday by blocking an interstate. That piqued my interest. A lot of people are saying Chris WYSIWYG works for me. Here's a newsflash. He doesn't. He doesn't work for me. Do I consider him a friend? Sure, I talked to him. I'll be honest. When I found out the news yesterday about Marcus Kopach, I called Chris. I called WYSIWYG, and I said, tell me you don't know about this, because a lot of people are saying he's the one that told me. No, he didn't tell me. You know what I was watching a live stream and someone said the guy's name, and something made me look him up. And as soon as I looked him up, I found out. And apparently this is a well-known secret that this group, 1776 Coalition or whatever they're called, they're apparently allowed to, or they've been very forgiving about sex offenders amongst their midst. Which doesn't make any sense. We hear these sad stories, and you think Marcus Kopach is the only one, and granted, he's probably, answering a phone call right now from Mike or Nicole, and they're like, you better get your ass back to Indiana. You participated in a protest that blocked the roadway, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tell on you, but I was asking if they really allow themselves to go, or if it's the policies of the Grant County Probation Office to allow convicted sex offenders to be, participating in what they call civil disobedience, is what this group calls. I call it criminal acts. Blocking an interstate, or even partially blocking an interstate, is criminal acts. And everyone that wants to say, well, it's different because they're standing for freedom, you tell me, and you want to look in your Hippocratic mirror right there and sit there and look at it. 2 years ago, if that group, instead of was carrying American flags, if they had BLM flags and they were blocking interstates, tell me you wouldn't be like, oh, this is wrong. They got to get out of the roadway. Because I guarantee every single one of you that's watching this show right now that feels that what happened yesterday was legal, you were the same people in 2020 that were like, get these assholes out of the road. It's a crime. Arrest them all. Why aren't they arresting them? Guaranteed. And you know what you are? You're a hypocrite. Or you're just racist. And you think only black people that are blocking, hiding on the or protesting on the interstate need to be arrested. And as long as they're white, they don't have to. And I know that's a stretch, but who cares? This whole thing is a stretch. I could have never imagined that that this group, the 1776 Commission, was or 1776 restoration movement, was allowing pedophiles to be in their mix. And I wonder, and a lot of people, I've seen comments that they're like, well, Steve is against this group. He's been against this group for a long time. No, I haven't been against the group. I specifically made the conscious choice not to talk about it, because when I was there at the People's Convoy, I saw things that I didn't like, and I kept them off the stream, and I refused to really talk about it because I felt like they were missing it. And then this new group came out, and I thought about going to meet, and I'm watching some of these live streams, listening to some of the speeches. I didn't speak out about it. I didn't say, well, this group is fucking bullshit. Nope. What I did is I kept quiet and didn't even report on it. And I got a lot of flack for it. And a lot of people are like, oh, you have something against them. Actually, I don't. I wish they would succeed, because I think what they actually were trying to stand for before they aligned with pedophiles was a good thing. Now, anyone that's participating, I don't care if you're streaming. I don't care anybody. Like, I'll be honest, I'm going to lose a lot of respect for a certain individual that if he stays there after this, after hearing the interview, and after hearing the explanation on why it's permitted, why they're permitting some child pedophile to be in this group. because he said, I got a letter direct from his probation officer, and she said, no, I talked to her. Her name's Nicole. I talked to her. She didn't send a letter specifically to you. In fact, she has no fucking idea who you are. And she was very surprised to find out that he was participating in the 1776 restoration movement that was blocking interstates yesterday. I thought it was known. I thought because on June 30th, he applied for a travel permit, which he got. And apparently I talked to Mike, too, the supervisor, who said they encourage these pedophiles to go out as long as they have supervision. Here's the thing. That note specifically says that he is not to be unsupervised with children. How do you think he is acceptable to be there? How does this make any sense? You got a grown man that has a letter that says he's not to be trusted alone with children, and you are permitting him to be to lead a protest next to the fire truck yesterday? I don't care. Anybody who wants to sit there and complain about it and chastise it and all this, I got to figure out the camera, because I keep looking up here at the camera because my video thing is too low here. But it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Someone said, is this live? You're damn right it is. Captain Clark said, it doesn't, Steve. It doesn't make any sense. You know, it really doesn't make any sense at all. You know, and one of Santa's things is like, how many offenders are in the church? Okay, so you're trying to justify it by other offenders? How is that? It's, like, you can't even make this up. And then they want to use the other example, right? Where this guy, Frank, had a really fucked up life. And I'm sure he did. And I feel bad for him for having to go through shit. But when he was 13, he did something horrible to a child. Horrible to a child. And now he has to plead for the rest of his life, or live the rest of his life as a registered sex offender. And granted, he's had 2 warrants out for his arrest for failing to register. We already know that. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. As someone that was forced to be in a group home, a restrictive environment, you know, a juvie, whatever you want to call it. They didn't call it that. They called it a rehabilitation center. But as someone that was forced to be in a place with those people, and someone that tracks those people after, because again, I want to know what they look like. And I'll be honest, this is scary. Do you know why I know that most of those people, when I was locked up in the juvie, do you know why I know what most of those people look like as adults and know that they're in jail? Because I'll be honest, I want to keep an eye on what they look like. So if I ever see them on the street, the same exact thing that happened whenever they broadcast and cheered on what they did in jail, or what they did to lead them in jail, because I'll be honest, if I'm walking with my kid, I'm going to set that example, and I'm going to be like, this is a pedophile. Watch what real men do to pedophiles. And that is the truth. That is the truth. I don't understand. I don't understand how anybody could sit there and be an apologist for that kind of behavior at all. And you want to say you're not an apologist? I don't care. You are. Anyone who solicits and collects money, and I granted, Oreo Express, what I asked yesterday was people to find out if he knew. That's it. I didn't say Oreo Express is a groomer or anything like that. I think it's really odd that if he did know, which it appears that he did, if he did know that there are pedophiles in this group, didn't he just a month ago take a break from the People's Convoy and hold a protest outside of a church and defend the church against a bunch of people saying the LGBTQ community, whatever, and literally say that he's out there protecting children? If that is the case, and he knew that there are pedophiles that are walking amongst him, the shit doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And to all his people on his Discord, you think I don't have eyes? I got eyes fucking everywhere. All the people that are like, oh, you know, we're going to fight dirt with dirt. Fuck off. You've been banned from every single chat because you are a fake-ass conservative, mama fucking whatever your name is, 45. There's no dirt you can bring up. Oh, shit, Steve was in juvie. Yeah, I was. I was a child that needed care and supervision. Didn't commit crimes. What I did is I ran away from foster homes all the time. So I wouldn't be a victim. So I wouldn't be, you know, forced to be someone else's kid. You know, that's the one thing about my life. I've had a hard fucking life, and I've worked hard for everything I got. And there are things that I'm not proud of, sure, but would I take anything back? Well, yeah, I would take some things back. But would I change the course, the path that led me here? No, it made me an incredible person. It made me an incredible dad. I've always said that I know what to do as a parent now because of the examples of when I was a kid and what not to do. It's amazing. It's amazing, and everyone wants to say, "Oh, I'm going to attack everybody. Oh, we're gonna fight fire with fire. They want to go low. We'll sling mud. Fuck you. There's nothing you can do. You can't sling shit. There's nothing you can do. I don't know who the hell people think they are. Here's the fact. Anyone that's trying to go and be like, oh, we're going to sling mud with mud, you're a groomer. Yes. Yes, if you're going to defend the fact that I'm speaking out that the 1776 restoration movement has 2 convicted sex offenders among their ranks right now, if you're going to try to throw sling at me because I feel it's important enough to speak out about that, then I'll be honest with you. Yes, my friend, you are a groomer. You are, and you need help. Because as I said yesterday, and I maintain it, the same thing should happen to you if you enable that kind of behavior. Fake ass patriots, fake ass conservatives. That's what you are. Any of you guys that support that kind of behavior and say, oh, you're fighting for freedom. What about the freedom? You know what? The whole Santa interview, and maybe I was wrong because I got disgusted so many times I had to mute it. How many times did he talk about the victims? How many times? How many times did he talk about the Frank's victim, the other preteen that kid molested? How many times did he talk about the victim related to Coppock? How many times? Zero. Never mentioned it once. Never mentioned it once. See, that guy can walk around and be like, oh, you know, people are attacking it. I'm not attacking the movement. No, I'm attacking you personally. I think the movement's great. You know what you should do? You should do what the mayor in Philadelphia wants to do and quit his job. Because did you guys hear that? Mass shooting yesterday in Philadelphia during the fireworks, 2 cops injured. Reporters questioned the mayor later on in the night, and he said, I just can't wait till I'm not mayor anymore so I can actually enjoy myself. Yeah, that's exactly like this. I'm appalled. I'm appalled that the 1776 restoration movement would take, and here's the thing, they would manipulate everybody. They would manipulate everybody, and that's exactly what's going on. Because do I believe that there are real patriots in that group? People that, and fuck the word patriot. There's too many people that say you're a patriot, but then you're like a leftist. They're real people that care about this country. People that care about this country that are part of that 1776 restoration movement. I have no doubt. But I will be honest, I will start to question anyone who remains there past this day. If you're there watching this video right now, share this. Share it with everyone else. Share it with everyone else. You guys can all get pissed at me. You can all talk and be like, who's this guy sitting in his mom's basement or whatever the fuck you want to say. Motherfucker, I'm 38 years old, married, 2 kids. I'm sitting in a 2,500 square foot office on Main Street in Woodstock, Virginia. Get the fuck out of here. It's the same insults because no one has any real insults. You want to attack my credibility? My credibility is intact. It's not, you can't attack what's intact. I'm so disgusted. And you know what disgusts me more is I had emails yesterday from people, all right? And I'm not going to say who they were, but I had this message yesterday. Say I'm not a patriot. When my son flies an F-35, how many tours have you done in Afghanistan? How many friends have you lost? My father and grandmother have all served, and because I believe in due process and believe I've seen people change and give their life to Christ and help others, see the good, you make me sick with your hate. It's never patriotic when it's focused to the friendly. Goodbye, Mr. Fake, he says. My response was simple. I said, patriot is an overused term. I was pretty clear in my show. And he said, yes, but your words don't line up with God's word. And I love you, honestly, bro. We're on the same. And then he says he hates, this and that. And then he goes into all sorts of other stuff about his life. And I said, my words do not need to line up with God's word. My hatred for pedophiles and the belief that they cannot be forgiven, their transgressions cannot be forgiven because the lives that they impacted will live on long after they do. If they're unfortunately, whatever you would call. I don't even know if you call that luck. I said everyone has opinions, and everyone thinks theirs is right. We have a lot in common, believe it or not, because they wrote a lot of other stuff. I said I do not and will not understand nor support anything that has to do, even if remote, to do with that type of people. It shouldn't be that complex. I'm not shitting on the 1776 movement. I'm shitting on the people that make it a safe haven for pedophiles. Once a pedophile, always a pedophile. You're never, ever going to change. And that's my honest belief. You're never going to change. And yes, I do. I have an immense hatred for them. And that is never going to change. And it's sickening. It's sickening that people are out here just like championing it. It's sickening. It's sickening that people that claim that they're patriots have patriots, the word patriot in their name, are literally defending these sick imbeciles of people. And I just don't understand it for the life of me. And so many people want to chastise it. Do I want the 1776 restoration movement to be disbanded? No, I don't. Do I wish they wouldn't block highways and protest? Yeah, 100%. I wish they didn't do that because I think it makes a bad name for it. And no, Jim Jordan didn't say 1776 to shout out the 1776 restoration movement as Santa claimed this morning. No, he was doing it because it was Independence Day. Are you saying I support you because I have it on my shirt? Because I sure as fuck don't support you, Santa. That's my belief. I don't want anyone banned in my chat. I just saw something saying someone was banned. I don't want anyone banned. Silence them, mute them, whatever. Give them timeouts. I don't want them banned. I want them to listen. I want them to pay attention to what I've said. I'm not asking people to stop supporting, WYSIWYG or Oreo Express or any of the other live streamers that are there. No. But what I'm asking you to do is question them. WYSIWYG did a good job today. Unfortunately, the answers that he got were not, I don't even know what I'm telling you to do because I'll be honest, I can't support anybody who stands by. There's no way in hell I will champion this 1776 restoration movement a day forward. If anyone that I've mentioned so far in this show is still there tomorrow, anybody, Santa, these two fucking perverts, anybody. Because here's the thing, I don't think it's about forgiveness. I mean, God, there's so many things that upsetted me so much during listening to that interview. One, he didn't mention the victims. Where have we heard that before? Oh, BLM. Oh, that's right. They don't talk about actual victims. No, they don't. Sequoia Turner, all the other innocent people that are killed all the time, they don't do it. Guy wants to go on this long diatribe on why it's allowed, why they're allowing some convicted pedophile to be in their ranks. Oh, I got a letter directly from his probation officer. The fuck you did. I spoke to her. She sent a blanket notice saying he's allowed to participate in social activities as long as his involvement with children is closely supervised. Fuck you. Shame on that probation department. And I'll be honest, I'm going to look into that as well. And I told them just as much. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to find out how many sex offenders that they've written this letter for allow them to go in social as long as they're supervised. A person is not safe to be around kids if they have to be supervised. And everyone on says, oh, there aren't kids at the 1776. The bullshit. Bullshit there aren't. Bullshit there aren't. And I challenge anybody to try to argue that. If he's safe to be around children, why does he need to be supervised? And you think that person has a place in the 1776 restoration movement? Disgusting. Disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And I'll be honest, I'm going to lose a lot of respect for anybody that continues on that regard. And I mean what I said yesterday. If you disagree with me and you still believe that this is, then just unfollow my page. You don't need to say, announce like you're in an airport and none of that. And if you're another fucking streamer that's going to use this clip or use a picture of me or whatever, more power to you. All right. But at least provide some of your own commentary. Don't just recite what I say. Just be a little fucking tad bit original. All right. You know who you are. I've never even heard of you before yesterday. And in fact, I like your little news brief. I'd be curious to hear what other ones are. But it seems like you just need to take a shower and trim your hair. I trimmed my hair up yesterday and shaved. I'm looking good. Fix the camera. Now I'm plugged in through the black, whatever it's called, black Decklink Duo in the back of the Alienware computer. But I don't know. It's really, to me, I just can't figure it out. Lazy Gamer did a good job. I know I'm not shitting on him. I'm just I'm giving him a shout out. Lazy Gamer. I've never heard of him before yesterday. Someone said his video. He's a smaller channel. But more power to him. I like videos where they provide their own context, just not a repeat of what I've said or something like that. You know what I mean? And Lazy Gamer, I don't go into battles, bro. You don't want to battle me. So I don't do that streamer war stuff. I know a lot of people do that, but everyone should check out his channel. It's Lazy Gamer Talks or something like that. April, you can put it in the chat if you find it. No one else do it though. But I don't understand. I can't understand why that would be even the slightest bit permissible. And I can't understand the backlash. That's the thing that's the most surprising. I can't understand the backlash. Santa is wearing a Yeet Yeet shirt. He wasn't wearing a Yeet Yeet shirt in that interview. If he did wear a Yeet Yeet shirt, someone take it off him. You know, I don't want him wearing one of my shirts. But man, I don't know, man. It's the shit just pissed me off. It pissed me off. Someone said, "Would you change your mind if they send the pedos packing?" No, not unless Santa's gone too. And I'll be honest with you, because he's already in a apology. No, to be honest, the fucking movement's gone. The movement's gone. I'll be completely honest with you. Because anyone who knowingly stood by and allowed that to go, like, I have to question your whether you're a human. You know what I mean? It's not even about being, whether you're a person, whether you have a soul. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And make no mistake, there's a big difference between statutory rape when a 17-year-old has a relationship with a 15-year-old. And the parents get pissed off and have the kid arrested. Huge difference between that. And I know a lot of people were trying to bring up that stuff, you know, and saying maybe it was statutory rape. This wasn't. These were both people that abused small children. One of which he was 40 or 50 years old when he did it. How people can try to figure it out or try to rationalize it. It's sad, man. It's sad. Someone said start a new 1776 movement, add a new name to it. No, I don't fucking care. Because here's the thing. I care about my kids. I care about my wife. You know, I care about my business and helping this succeed. You know, and I don't even know what the 1776 restoration movement stands for except pedophiles. I'll be honest. That's it. I don't even care. Nothing they say, everything they say is fucking garbage if they're allowing pedophiles to stand there next to them. I don't care. It's never going to change. You guys want to understand why I can't run for Congress? It's because of this. It's because of my temperament. You want to understand why I'm not going to be a figurehead of some political movement? You know how many times I get asked that? I get asked to go speak at this event. I got offered a shit ton of money to go up to Washington State and headline something for some political thing. And I'm like, no, I can't. You know why? Because I'm not putting my name next to anything. I'm not putting my name next to it. And people are like, you need to go take over the People's Convoy. You need to do this. You need to do that. Fuck that. I don't care. I mean, it's just sad. You know, it's just sad. Someone said, Steve, all the people there have bad records and backgrounds. Yeah, here's the thing. There's a big difference between being a convicted felon, which I have no problem with. In fact, when I had my trucking company, almost 99% of my employees were convicted felons. You know why? I specifically sought them out, paid them more, and they had more to prove. They were the best workers you could possibly have. The best workers you could possibly have. I went out of my way to hire convicted felons. When I had my trucking company in Paterson, New Jersey, because they were great. I would pay them more. They would show up on time to work. They would be respectful. Sure. I mean, was there a chance that they would flip out and kill you? Maybe. But they were respectful. They always showed up because they have more to prove. They can't find jobs anywhere. I would hire a felon over, you know, someone that's not, you know, if they had the same level of qualities and all that stuff, same resume. You know, everyone's saying, like, here's the thing, Oreo, I don't know about Oreo Express. I don't fucking care about the guy. He's fucking nothing to me. My question specifically was, did he know that there were pedophiles in the group as he, every 5 minutes, asked for people to contribute to him? And because he's not, here's the difference. Watch an Oreo Express video and watch a Chris WYSIWYG video. They're way different. Because WYSIWYG is truly being an independent. He's being an interviewer. He's being anything. That's what he's doing. Oreo Express is literally there, blocking the highways, championing everything. He seems more of a protester, and that's fine. Because we should have activists in this country. But I have to question your sincerity on a lot of the other stuff you do. If you are knowingly standing by while while that kind of behavior is present, Do you know what I mean? You know, I'm not shitting on Oreo Express, and I'm not trying to, you know, but I don't understand how. I don't know if he knew. I can only hope he didn't. That's it. I can only hope he didn't know. And I'm probably wrong in that regard. But that's it. You know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're attacking him." I'm not trying to attack him. I'm not trying to attack anybody. You know, WYSIWYG, he does his own thing. I talked to him last night, and I said something today too. You know, or I thought it today. I sincerely, and I'll be honest with you, and I know he's probably going to get messages. I sincerely hope. They're like, I talked to him yesterday, and he said he's got this big plan to go do stuff, and I'm not going to announce his thing, but I think it's great. So with something to do with his background, I think that's amazing, and I think he would blow up. He'd have a bigger channel than all of us. I think he should pack up and leave right now. Because if you don't, I don't know. That's my opinion. You know, that's my opinion. I don't get it. Wizzy is not on Santa's side. If you thought that from watching the video, then you're one of those people that just simply doesn't understand. Chris was interviewing Santa. Now, he's not like me. Chris isn't going to go out and be like, okay, so you're allowing pedophiles to be here. Oh, you want to see his charging documents? Why do you want to read about how he victimized a child? Here's the evidence I need to know that guy is a pedophile. He pled guilty. Because you know what you don't do if you're innocent? You don't plead guilty to 20-year terms. No, you spend the rest of your life in jail if you got to. You don't plead guilty. And it's not like he served a small amount of time. He's probably had a hard time because he was in jail for many, many years. Fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. You know? But you know, anyone who says like Chris was, you know, siding with Santa, he didn't side with anybody. I watched the same interview you did. I got mad at the interview, not because of, you know, that I felt like he was siding with him. No, I got mad at the interview because he wasn't more like me. He wasn't being like, okay, so you think it's acceptable. You want to see these sick fucking charging documents in order to prove it, other than the fact that, you know, what the evidence that's already presented. You think it's acceptable to get a letter from a probation and parole officer saying that, yes, he is fine to be around children as long as he's being supervised. Do you know what that means? I would have fucking slapped Santa in the face, kicked him out of my car, packed up, and left. I'll be completely honest with you. At the second he said, I got a letter saying as long as he's supervised, I'd been like, so you get the fuck out of my car. And I'll be honest, that's a little bit what I was expecting. What would I do in this movement? And this is what I would do right now, okay? If I was in charge of this group, I would get up there with the microphone and I'd say, listen, thank you all for coming. We are disbanding this thing. It's now a disgrace because of that fucking pedophile and that pedophile. Everyone go home. We'll figure out a new solution. Here's an email list or something. We'll figure out a new plan. But for right now, our movement's been hijacked by pedophiles. And then I'd drop the mic and I'd walk away. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. And nothing else. Nothing else. I wouldn't try to make it work. I wouldn't try to do it. Nah. You know what's going to end up happening? You know what's going to because they're so big on social media algorithms and all that. You know what's going to happen tomorrow and the next day and the next day? It's going to become a pedophile haven. And you're going to have pedophiles and, you know, sex offenders that are coming from miles around to go participate in this group where, they can eat for free. And maybe on the weekends, kids will show up to fireworks parties. Fuck you, you fucking sick asses. Oh, my God. They need to it needs to be disbanded. It needs to be disbanded. And I'm not even going to say that. I don't want to put bad ideas in people's heads. We should have the 1776. Put your fucking no. I'm done. It disgusts me, dude. It disgusts me. It disgusts me with this fire inside that I can't describe to anybody, other than the way I just did. You know. It's I don't know, man. You know. And I feel bad. I feel bad for the people that truly do care about America and truly are out there championing what they're trying to champion. because it has been overshadowed. Am I at fault for, this stop, or the fact that this movement could potentially end? You know what? If I am, and it was because I spoke out about fucking pedophiles, yes, I'll fucking take that and I'll get it tattooed. Fuck all of them sick ass people. And anybody who wants to say that kind of shit's acceptable, you're just as bad as the people that offend. And we have a term for it now. It's called groomer. Like it's mind-boggling to me. It's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Should start a group. No, I'm not going to. I am not. That's how the Proud Boys started, by people that just wanted to go out and knock heads. I'm not doing that stuff. But I tell you, it offends the shit out of me. It offends the shit out of me. And what offends me more is I thought yesterday I'd make the video and then it'd be done. I thought people would stop talking about it. And it's not. Someone said, holler on the super chat for comments and questions. Yeah, I mean, I see the super chats right now. So if you want to do that, or cash apps or whatever. But, and we have a lot more to talk about. We're going to be talking about all these mass shootings, and not necessarily just a one mass shooting where the dude dressed up as a girl and shot randomly from a rooftop, which doesn't coincide with witness testimony that he was shooting from the ground. But we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about all the other shootings that nobody seems to care about. I don't know. Jim White said they're trying to normalize it. I don't even know if they're trying to normalize it. I think they need people. They need numbers. I think that's what it is. I don't know. And I don't know how anybody, I mean, again, just for clarity, this is fucking public record. I'm not doxing it. He's a pedophile. He's not a human. This is his court. This is public record right here. This is a public record right here. In mycase.in.gov. Type in his fucking name. You'll find it. Disgusting. People want to act like it's not. It's just, it's that to the life of me, I can't understand. I can't understand how people could say, well, it's normal. It's normal. The fuck it is, dude. Fuck it is. But yeah. Someone said they're getting a bad reputation and that's not good. I don't even fucking care. If they are getting a bad reputation and that's because of me and the fact that I spoke out, so be it. So be it. All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and I'm sure we're going to keep coming back to this and talking about it, but I don't care who Colleen is. I don't care if people are bashing. I don't give two shits. If people have a difference of opinion, that's fine. But anybody who is, why don't you just say it's okay to here, do me a favor right now. Don't type anything else. But if you think, mods, get ready. If you think that a pedophile can be rehabilitated, type 1 in the chat. Nobody else type anything. Type 1 in the chat if you believe a pedophile can be rehabilitated. And then all my mods will politely kick you out of my chat forever. I almost said something else. Because again, my belief is if you believe that, you're a groomer. And you're just as guilty as the people that commit that horrible crime in the first place. There. Is that fucking clear enough? All right, what are we gonna do now? I'm irritated, man. I want to just go break some arms. Someone said freedom of speech on this channel. No, not if you believe pedophiles are humans. No, there's no freedom of speech there. All right, so we're gonna talk about the mass shootings. There's been a shit ton of mass shootings over the past weekend. It's crazy. Over the past weekend, a ton of mass shootings. But first, how do you protect your identity online? I use Aura. All right, guys, let me tell you about a new sponsorship opportunity we have here at the Wake Up America podcast. This one's pretty amazing, to be honest, because we're a conservative news outlet. A lot of the things that we talk about sometimes are controversial. So for us getting big sponsors like this, it's pretty exciting. And sponsorships that we actually would recommend to people are pretty exciting too. 2021 has seen over 1 billion records get hacked from major social media sites, national grocery stores, cryptocurrency exchanges, pharmacies, and phone and internet providers, along with fast food, trucking companies, freight brokers, pretty much everyone. Yeah, a lot of information has been out there, and if you're a user of any of these companies, there's a chance that your personal data has already been compromised. When your passwords leak online, you are at risk of credit card fraud or identity theft, and that could mean that your money could be at risk right now. What can you do to protect yourself? How can you keep up with every new leak? Because it seems like every day, even on our website, we're reporting about a new leak. Well, Aura is a new type of security service that helps protect your online accounts, internet connection, and devices with one simple subscription. So instead of having like an antivirus, a VPN, and a credit monitoring software to keep yourself safe online, Aura has put all of them into one product, which is pretty amazing, to be honest. They will alert you of potential fraud threats, like if someone is trying to open a bank account in your name or attempting to use your social security number. Their apps will also protect your devices from malware and encrypt your Wi-Fi connection so you can shop, bank, and stream online securely. With easy online dashboards and alerts sent straight to your phone, Aura keeps you in control and guides you through solving any issues that may arise. All plans come with a $1 million identity theft insurance to help recover eligible losses and experience US-based customer service that have your back. So if you want to secure your online presence from hackers, scammers, and nosy advertising companies, go to aura.com/citizen. And when you use that link, you'll get up to 40% off all your plans. And they have 3 different type of plans. They have a basic plan, like an intermediate plan, and then a family plan. So for under 40, I think it's under $40 a month, you can actually monitor up to 2 children and yourself and your spouse as well. So it's pretty awesome. Check them out, aura.com/citizen. That is aura.com/citizen. All right, so we're back. That was a long break. It was a long commercial. We haven't played that in a while. But go check them out. Aura is a great company that we've been partnering with for a couple of months now. So check them out. Great company if you want to protect yourself online. Go do it. Anyway, let's talk about some of these mass shootings. There's some new information that came out about this mass shooter. They did arrest the mass shooter yesterday from the July 4th celebration. And I know I'm not talking, or I know you're probably confused. You think I'm talking about, well, I just lost my train of thought. I'm still really pissed off. Like, I was like shaking, getting more mad. I was reading the comments and people are like saying, you know, certain things are accepted. Like one person said, Steve, were you abused as a child? No, I had the shit kicked out of me as a kid for years and years and years. Never sexually, but I dated a girl once that was, and she was fucked up, and I heard her horror stories. And yes, maybe that's what my animosity is, or the fact that I listened for 15 months to kids glorify that kind of behavior. You know, again, watch this episode back and then you'll get some context. No, they're not human. They are not. They are evil. If you believe in God, they are Satan. Anyway, just like mass shootings last night. Well, mass shootings across the United States were actually crazy. But there was a mass shooting in Illinois yesterday at a 4th of July celebration in the suburbs of Chicago that claimed the lives of 6 and left over 30 injured with gunshot wounds. Many of them have been released from hospitals, but some are still in critical condition. Now, this mass shooter, apparently it's kind of weird because yesterday, if you watch my video, I played a clip from an eyewitness that said he was roughly either 6 feet or 6 yards away from the shooter, who was in a low crouch on the sidewalk shooting, aiming with a scope and shooting into people. That was from an eyewitness there. But then something happened or transpired after that. Someone said my volume's really low. Turn it up. I'm not quite sure what the issue is. But yeah, it is what it is. It's been this volume the entire time. I don't have headphones, so I can't monitor it, so you got to deal with it. Anyway, this mass shooting doesn't make any damn sense. I'll be completely honest with you, because the guy was dressed up as a chick and complete. I saw a photo, complete with like makeup and stuff. So are we gonna say that he was a trans dude? Like, are the apologists? A lot of people are saying he was a Trump supporter. Here's what I believe. I believe this guy was staking out Trump rallies. That's what I believe. I believe he was probably going to commit a terrorist attack at the Trump rallies, realized there's too much Secret Service protection at these rallies, and chose on a soft target to shoot at these people. Do I believe he was a shooter? I don't want to get into all these conspiracy theories, but it's pretty hard to discount an eyewitness who says that he was 6 or 7 feet from the guy that was shooting on the ground. Like, that's something that you can't really just make up, right? Or maybe you could, but why? What would you benefit? And even when you're questioned by the journalists and say, wait, you're saying he was on the ground, all the other reports are that they're on the roof. And he's like, I don't know where they're getting at. I was standing right next to this guy. He was shooting from the ground. Like, for the life of me, I just can't understand that. You know, my personal belief is that this guy was a nutbag, and I believe there are plenty of warning signs. And we hear all the calls now for gun this and gun that. We got to ban AR-15s, blah blah blah. They haven't even said if this is an AR-15. And to be honest, let's be honest. They said originally that he was 18 to 20 years old. You remember that? 18 to 20 years old. I even said that was odd. Turns out he's not 18 to 20 years old. He's 21 or 22. I don't even know how old he is, but he was older than 20 years old. Why did they choose that? I think because they wanted to make the argument that he would have been able to buy an AR-15 if he was 18 to 20 years old, because keep in mind, that's what the typical leftists are trying to remove now, the ability for youngins, 18 to 20-year-olds to buy an AR-15, which again doesn't matter in this case. Illinois has extremely restrictive gun control, legislation already in place. They have red flag laws. How, if you watch any of this dude's music videos, you understand he was completely unhinged from the very beginning. You know that. You know he was unhinged because of his videos. He had one where he's in a school staging like a shooting where he hits this thing that says fire. Like, I mean, this dude was unhinged as shit. Nobody seemed to, report. Apparently he had some police involvement in the past too. The police dropped the ball there apparently, if this kid is in fact the shooter. The fact that the FBI even got involved makes me, and I'll be honest, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but after seeing what's happening with J6 and seeing how the FBI has bundled a lot of these investigations, most notably the Whitmer trial and that kidnapping plot, and that it was, a big FBI operation, and they didn't get any convictions because even the general public does not trust the FBI. Now that the FBI is involved, it's making a lot of questions. The fact that this guy came out dressed as a girl, the fact that he's got all these weird, social libertarian or socialist tattoos from other countries, and none of it is really making a lot of sense. A lot of people are trying to, he was a Trumper is like trending or was trending on Twitter or something. I personally don't believe it. Even conservatives are saying we can't say he's not a Trumper. No, you can. You absolutely can, because it doesn't appear he was. And why is so? And here's the truth. Does anyone actually believe that if this guy was in fact a Trump supporter, that they would have completely nuked his social media as quick as they did? Or do you think they would have left it up there? Did they delete it really quick because they didn't want you to see all the tweets where he's like retweeting Joe Biden's statements and retweeting January 6th with the hashtags lock them all up? Is that why they deleted it really quick, but they were pissed off that, the internet was very quick to find it out? And that's why now you're being deleted if you're retweeting some of those some of those tweets? It's crazy. It's crazy. And I really don't know what to make of it, other than the fact is I don't believe anything. Do I believe there's one shooter? Possibly. Do I believe he was the shooter? I don't know. I really don't. And I suppose the only way I'll actually believe anything is if I was like to talk to him, because ultimately, if anything that's coming out in these press conferences doesn't make any sense, they're saying he got away because he was dressed as a girl. Are you telling me he actually passed as a girl? Come on. You can't tell me that it wouldn't have stuck out like a sore thumb seeing that little scrawny, anorexic looking shitbird walking down the street dressed as a woman. He would have stuck out as a sore thumb. I would have been like, police, did you see anything suspicious? Yeah, I saw a man dressed as a woman. Suspicious. I don't know. It's just crazy. Someone said they stalled press conferences to scrub his social media. You got to give that some credibility, though. Their press conferences were pretty good. They provided a lot of information really quick. When you look at Uvalde and how they didn't provide a lot of information, I have to say I was impressed at the way they handled this in terms of providing some information. But I don't know. Someone said, notice how CNN and the leftists spun the narrative that because he was at a Trump rally, he was some kind of MAGA guy, total deflection from his leftist sympathies. I haven't been able to listen to CNN today because I've just been working. All those coffee orders I got out, I've been busting my ass in here today, trying to make this place, clean and orderly because I'm getting all the cabinets. I wanted to get it, figured out. But yeah, I don't know how mainstream media is portraying it, because they can't go after the gun control narrative because it's just not going to work. Illinois is a six. They have an A- from like the Giffords, Institute or what, an A- for gun control. They already have FOIA cards. You can't even own a gun without registering and getting a permit just to own a gun. It doesn't matter if it's a handgun or not. They already have background checks. AR-15s were specifically banned in this town. You weren't allowed to own one if you lived in the town. This kid lived in the town. So again, a lot of this information is very annoying. It's annoying because you're getting it's almost like, I don't know. I don't believe in all these conspiracy theories. I don't believe in false flags. I don't believe in any of that. But I also don't believe this instance is as cut in dry as they're making it to be. And I just can't figure out how an eyewitness would account for seeing a shooter as approximately 6 feet away from him shooting into a crowd of people. I don't know how someone can imagine that and believe it with the kind of belief that the other guy had. But again, that's not the only mass shooting. There was a shit ton of mass shootings. Last night there was a mass shooting in Minneapolis. 8 people were injured, many of them critical, during a 4th of July celebration. You're not going to hear that because the majority of the victims were not white. So you're not going to hear about that. Many of the mass shootings that I will describe to you, you're not going to hear about. There are mass shootings in Gary, Indiana. Well, that was actually early this morning. Let's talk about some of these mass shootings. For any of you that don't know, I do this all the time. It's very interesting because mainstream media refuses to report on the mass shootings that actually occur every day. 3 people are dead and 7 others are wounded in a mass shooting at a block party in Gary Tuesday just after midnight. This is the 4th of July celebration. Gary police said officers were dispatched to the 1900 block of Missouri Street just after 12:46 a.m. for several people with gunshot wounds. Upon arrival, officers discovered 3 people unresponsive and 7 others with gunshot wounds. Marquise Hall, 26 years old, from Lafayette, Indiana, Ashanti Brown, 20, from Olympia Fields, Illinois, and Lawrence Magnum, 25, from Merrittville, Indiana, were all pronounced dead on the scene by Lake County Coroner's Office. Some of the gunshot victims transported to the hospital. Others were transported by ambulance. The investigation's ongoing. No suspect in custody. No motive is known for the shooting. That's just one other mass shooting. There was another one in Boston, Massachusetts. 4 people were hurt in one mass shooting. In total, 11 people were injured by gunfire yesterday in Boston alone. We don't talk about them again. And I'm going to make clear, I'm going to say this every time. We don't talk about these mass shootings because the victims are not white. Yes, I said it. For some reason, mainstream media refuses to report on mass shootings when the victim or the offender is not white. They just don't do it. You want to talk about racism? Like, if Black Lives Matter is watching this video right now, please explain to me why you even tolerate it. You will go out and march for a police officer or march against police, for using lethal force on a guy that's shooting at them. But you won't go out there and march against the news organizations that are filling you with the same misinformation that you get all the time. It's a disgrace. But anyway, 10 Boston is reporting that at least 11 people were hurt in a series of violent incidents across Boston overnight, including 2 that left the victims with serious injuries. I don't know if you could tell. I'm actually really pissed. Like, I feel my blood pressure is rised really high because the whole talk about the 1776 shit just fucking ruined me. I want to, I can't go to the gym because I hurt my back and I think I tore my rotator, and so I'm not going to the gym for a couple more days to try to. My back is, I have no pain right now, knock on wood, but I don't want to go to the gym and hurt it. So I have all this aggression right now and I can't get rid of it. Normally, what I do, if I was on the fire department, I would be working security tonight so I could punch someone in the mouth or something like that. But I can't do it. So you're going to hear me you'll probably visibly be able to see that I am pissed right now. Like, I want to go home and fight with my wife verbally. I'm just kidding. I know that's going to be a clip. But that was more from my wife, because she said, because I can't go to the gym, I'm like an asshole to be around. You know, whatever. That didn't carry over well. But yeah, I think you guys know what I'm saying. You know, if you're married to a gym rat, when they don't go to the gym for a while, they turn into an a-hole at home. And I fully admit that. So now we're just not talking. When I go home, like, I give her a kiss and I say, I love you. And she's like, okay. And then I'm like, oh, and I go and make my lunch or whatever without saying anything else. And then I say, okay, see you at dinner. That's it. We're trying not to talk because I'm a hothead right now. But yeah, 4 people were shot in a mass shooting in Boston. I just skipped right over that. Let's go to Sacramento, California. Mass shooting, 1 person killed, 4 people injured in a shooting downtown yesterday. Or that was actually yesterday morning. It's the second mass shooting in the central city in the last 3 months. Shooting happened at 16th and L Streets outside of a club called Mix. It took place just as nightclubs were getting out. Family and friends have identified the person killed as Greg Najee James. Grimes was an assistant football coach at a high school, the school he graduated from in 2008, before earning a scholarship to Boise State University. Ray Rodriguez was in the nightclub when it happened. He said he didn't hear the arguments or fighting inside the nightclub, but as he and his friends left around 1:50, they heard shots on the street below. Rodriguez said they stayed inside the club for around 15 minutes while police arrived after leaving the club. He said there were bullet casings all over the ground. He was at the scene Monday morning waiting to get his car, which was behind crime scene tape. The mayor said something that, you know, stupid, and I don't even know what it was. In Oakland, California, not far from Sacramento, there was a mass shooting as well yesterday. 4 people, including an 11-year-old boy, were wounded by gunfire as they watched a fireworks show last night. Again, we don't talk about any of these because these are inner city, and for some reason, the media refuses to report on it. You know, we already talked about the mass shooting last night in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Kansas City, Missouri, there was a mass shooting, 4 people injured yesterday as well. It's a busy night for Kansas City police. Detectives are investigating a shooting, a slew of car break-ins, and an armed robbery that all occurred within a few blocks downtown. Most of the victims were attending a Rod Wave concert at the T-Mobile Center Sunday night, and when the show ended, police say they were there was a shit ton of calls for service. All the incidents happened within a few blocks. As they were leaving the show, many concert goers and others downtown found out their cars had been broken into. As many as 100 cars were broken into. Around the same time, someone fired shots into the crowd leaving. As the officers were investigating the cars being broken into, they were immediately called to the sound of shots and responded to that area. In addition, those officers were on additional duty, or they were additional duty officers in the area. They were working off duty at Power and Light, and officers were working off duty at T-Mobile. So there was a shit ton of officers. 4 people were injured. 1 man and a woman were taken to the hospital. 1 man who was grazed and treated at the scene. A juvenile victim was also grazed and went to the hospital in their own vehicle. And so, yeah, it's another mass shooting. There were also some BLM protests last night. Antifa marched through downtown Portland, Oregon, destroying some places. There's a video online of the black bloc-clad morons, meth heads, walking down the street and jumping on the, I believe it was a Tesla that had a family inside, smashing out the windshield while the family was inside. And again, the reason why they feel so emboldened to do this is because people don't care. I'll be honest, if someone jumped on the hood of my car, I'm always armed. That person is going to lose their life, especially if my kids are in the car. Especially, 100%. And potentially more people would lose their life. Or if I see a crowd of black bloc-clad people, morons, that are marching down the street, and one of them jumps on my roof, what's to stop that person from driving through the crowd and potentially injuring dozens of other people? Such a stupid thing. And the Portland police should be ashamed of themselves for allowing it to go on. For a long time, I've said it was the mayor's fault, Ted Wheeler's fault in Portland. No, I believe now it's the police officers for not standing up for their own city. And I know you can't just go and break ranks, but you know what you can do is you could start speaking to the press. You could start speaking out. You could start calling Fox News and saying enough is enough. Our police leadership has forbid us from speaking to the press, but do it anyway. Otherwise, don't work that job. Go somewhere else. We need police officers all around the country right now. Fuck Portland. They don't like you anyway. And I'll be honest with you. That's the truth. One person was killed, 4 others were injured in a mass shooting last night in Kenosha, Wisconsin. But I can't read you the article because it's behind a paywall, because fuck them. Denver, Colorado, there's a mass shooting on July 4th as well. 1 person killed, 3 people were injured in that mass shooting. Actually, yeah, so I guess it's been updated. So 4 people were injured during a shooting in Denver Monday night. The incident happened in the 2100 block of West Pacific Place. 3 victims had been located as of Monday night, according to the Denver police. On Tuesday morning, DPD confirmed 1 man had died from his injuries and an additional 4th victim had been self-transported to the hospital. So this is one man dead, 4 people injured, which is updated from what I said before. They don't have any suspects in custody. No motive is known for the shooting, and they're asking the public to give them a call. In Queens, New York, there's also a mass shooting yesterday. 4 people were injured. You may have heard about that. A New York City fell victim again to the scourge of gun violence in America on the 4th of July. As reported, 24 people. Damn it. They all put the shit behind paywalls. I just want to read these articles. So, yeah, I can't read that. 24 people were shot in... Man, should I put paywalls on Citizen Stringer so we could actually try to make money? No, we do it independent. We're independent. Chicago, there's a mass shooting, 5 people injured. Richmond, Virginia. These are all yesterday, mind you. Yes, these are all yesterday. Richmond, Virginia, 6 people were injured in a mass shooting. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, let's count number 12, the July 5th one, because that was at 12:43 this morning. 12 mass shootings in the past 24 hours across the United States. Impressive. We break new records every day under the Biden administration. You are welcome. Also, Manassas, Virginia had a mass shooting on the 4th, which is pretty crazy. Mullins, South Carolina on the 3rd had a mass shooting, 4 people injured. Tacoma, Washington on the 3rd had a mass shooting, 4 people injured. Surprise, Arizona on the 3rd had a mass shooting, 3 people injured, 4 people shot. In Clinton, North Carolina, there were 6 people injured in a mass shooting on Saturday. In Haltom City, Texas, there were 3 people killed, 4 people injured during a mass shooting on Saturday. In Corona, Queens, again, there was a mass shooting, 1 person killed, 3 people injured on Saturday. In Chicago, Illinois, on Friday night, there were 4 people injured in a mass shooting. Greenwood, Mississippi, on Friday night, 1 person was killed, 8 people injured on a mass shooting, again, Friday night. Chicago, Illinois, another one, 2 people killed, 3 people injured. Allen, Kentucky, and this is the day before, so this is Thursday, whatever. 3 people killed, 5 people injured. So in all, we have 23 mass shootings in the past 72 hours across America. We are focused on one, mind you, where the majority of the victims were likely white and the suspect was white. And I know it's important. And a lot of you guys always criticize me and say, why do you do it? Why do you talk about the race of these shooters? Because they have to. I have to. Nobody else does it. I mean, look at what's it say in the description of this video? We present the news because mainstream media won't. That's the whole reason I do this job every single day, is to provide a different context that breaks the mainstream narrative of what you've been hearing. And this is true. Martin said, what's considered a mass shooting? Okay, so this is an important question, and I'll do my best to tell you the truth. A mass shooting is defined by the FBI as 4 or more victims, okay? Now they go in all these subcategories, right? So mainstream media, it depends which outlet. Fuck, my leg is seizing up. Mainstream media says that they define mass shootings differently because what they won't include drive-bys, because drive-bys are often linked to gang violence. And they don't include gang violence. They don't include drug deals, and they don't include anything that has to do with a personal relationship where a husband shoots a wife and kills her kids or something like that. They don't include those in their mass shooting tallies. We do. Why? Because they are all acts of terror. We include mass shootings as a terrorist category here at Citizen Stringer because, well, there's no other purpose for mass shootings. That's what they are. That's what they are. No, come on. See a big old fucking diesel truck pull up. I challenge any of you guys, you're going to get a fucking handful of bullets. I'll be honest with you. Nah, he doesn't have a stupid thing on the back of his truck. But people are so stupid. Because here's the thing. I do speak out about things, and I do think people are unhinged. But just keep in mind, I'm armed all the time, even sitting at this desk. sitting at this desk. And here's the best part is I have cameras all around the front. So if I ever did have to act on it, I would release that video. That guy's just going to the gym. But yeah, but that's how mass shootings work. Oh God, dude, I'm so irritated. I'm so irritated today. I literally started this video early because I knew I was going to have to take longer to talk about stuff, you know, with the 1776 bullshit, you know, groomer, you know, whatever, the groomers that are there. The whole movement's not groomers, let's be honest, but a lot of them are. Anyone who thinks. Someone said, do you think it's fair to compare gun laws between other countries and here? People believe gun control works and that the U.S. should follow other countries in doing. No, because they don't. Someone said Steve uses less steroids. Ah, that's funny. I don't use steroids. I'm a drug-tested athlete. You can go look it up on Open Records or something, the powerlifting record. Yeah, I was 13th in the world, motherfucker, in 2019 before COVID. I actually competed in the Worlds in Ireland, the drug-tested World Powerlifting Championship. So you're welcome. But no, I don't use steroids. I wish sometimes I think about it, about doing it, because if I'm this big now and this strong now, can you imagine if I did steroids? It would be amazing. I'd be so damn strong, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I can lift a lot anyway. Someone said, that's badass. Where can I see your lifts? I don't really post them that much. There's a couple on TikTok. If you find me on TikTok, I think it's just Citizen Stringer. We're messing around. I'm like throwing around 600 pounds, stuff like that. But yeah, Portland Police Union needs a leader like Patrick Lynch, NYPD Police Union Chief. Yeah, I don't know. But here's the thing: the way that organization is all struck, they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to do anything. But someone said is ban Greco. I don't know what you're talking about. Surprise Arizona shooting. Yeah, we already talked about that. I mean, here's the thing. Mass shootings happen across America every single day. We have more mass shootings now. We're on track to beat the previous record for mass shootings, which was Joe Biden last year. We have more mass shootings than the Trump administration. In all reality, we have more mass shootings than anywhere else. And it's not because these mass shootings, of all the mass shootings, I wish I had the document because I have more viewers now. I did a mass shooting report last week. April, can you send that to me real quick? I know it is yelled in the microphone, but can you send me the document that you did about the mass shootings? Because here's the thing, we actually analyzed, because it's so easy for everyone to go and say, oh, we need to do gun control in order to get rid of these mass shootings and all this stuff. But nobody actually provides actual information about the mass shootings. So April last week went in depth to do this look into all these mass shootings. I'm trying to see if I can't find it real quick. It may have been a week or 2 weeks ago. I don't know. Yeah, no, I got it, April. You're good. You don't need to. So this mass shooting. So we analyzed. So now there's been like 320 mass shootings across the United States. But last week we analyzed 276 mass shootings that occurred this year. Of those 276 mass shootings, we identified 85 cases that had the shooters identified. So I mean that's pretty bad. About 2/3, right, or 1/3. Now, of those 85 cases of mass shootings across the United States, multiple, over a dozen of those mass shootings had more than one shooter. Now, we actually broke down by the race of shooters. So again, keep in mind, we have multiple mass shootings that had more shooters. But according to all the news gathering and all that we were able to do, 92 black male shooters were involved in 85 cases. Well, I said that wrong. So of the 85 cases that we analyzed, there were 92 male black shooters, people that were charged with shooting. There were 2 black female shooters, again, people that were charged with the shooting as part of the mass shootings. There were 16 Hispanic male shooters, again, people that were charged with something having to do with that mass shooting. 13 white male mass shooters, 2 shooters of an unknown race, and 1 Filipino. Here's something interesting. We went a step further, or dare I say, April went a step further. Was it legal? Was the gun owner permitted to own a gun? So this was more in depth. This is why it took us so long, because then we took their charging documents. We took, their names in some cases, ran background checks on them. And we discovered that of those 85 cases that we had shooters identified, 64 of the shooters, 64 of those cases, 64 of the shootings, the person that was doing the shooting was not legally carrying a gun. meaning that the gun was stolen, the person was barred from owning a gun via prior conviction, they were younger than what you were, they were 16, 17 when they were shooting, or just their legal status, they're on parole or probation. 64, 7 of the shootings, it's unknown, and 14 of the 85 cases that we identified were legal gun owners, meaning that they were not barred from owning a gun. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? The highest percentage, the highest age range of shooters was 52. Or I'm sorry, no, there was 52 was the highest percentage. 21 to 30 years old was the highest percentage. Over 50% of the shootings, that was their age, between 21 and 30, which is it's pretty crazy because media doesn't report any of this stuff. Because for one, it takes a tremendous amount of research. What I would like to do, to be honest, is go over the entire Biden administration, because everybody always says it's guns. We got to get guns off the street. We got to hamper this. And I know the rationale behind this, and I'll take a minute to explain it. I know why they keep targeting guns all the time. The reason they're targeting the guns is because they want to take away guns. I mean, newsflash, they want to take away the guns, because to them, they feel like if you do not legally own guns, the people that are breaking into your house and stealing your guns will not be able to steal your guns anymore. They won't have guns. So therefore, there will be no guns on the street. Instead of saying, hey, we need to fund the police and send out gun squads to go catch all these criminals that have guns that are doing the robberies. No, instead, they want to crack down on your right to own a firearm instead of anyone. I'm a huge Second Amendment proponent, and I think everyone should. I think it should be mandatory. I think when you turn 18 in this government, you should be forced to take a shooting lesson and be issued your first gun as compliment to the U.S. government. That is what I believe. I believe everybody should know how to use a gun in this country, and I believe that once you lose it, like if you're a criminal, you commit a crime. Doesn't even matter if you commit a crime and you plead guilty and you're sentenced and you go to jail and you get out, you lose that right until you have your rights restored. And I do believe that there are a certain group of people, you can imagine who, like murderers, domestic abusers, child abusers, that should never be able to own a gun, let alone exist. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Let's just add that part, but let alone exist. But I don't believe that right should be infringed for everyone. But I believe if you've ever beat your wife, you should never own a gun. Yeah, I believe that. I know a lot of people have been like, oh, well, my wife made a false accusation against me 50 years ago. I've been married for 15 years. My wife has never once accused me of assaulting her. So I can honestly say you're doing something wrong if that happens. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, what the fuck, Steve? And I don't know what to tell you on that. But I think if you're let's take that up a step. No, if you are confirmed, you are charged, you are convicted of a domestic abuse, you should never own a gun again. That's my belief. You should never be able to own a gun. I don't care. If you're a heroin user, you should never be able to own a gun. If you get clean and you've been clean for a long time and you're willing to submit to weekly piss tests to prove that you're not under the influence of drugs, sure, you can have your guns back. Is that extreme? Possibly. But there's groups of people I don't like, just as a person. And maybe I'm just being a little bit more outspoken. Maybe I'm just more angry right now, so I'm being more outspoken when I speak. I don't like drug users. I had a friend OD in front of me once when I was traveling. OD'd. He wanted to do dope. I didn't do drugs. Never tried them, didn't want to do them. This kid wanted to do dope, and he OD'd right next to me, and there's nothing I could fucking do. I hate drugs. They ruin people's lives. And that's my personal belief. Yeah, but someone said there are a lot of warning signs before a woman falsely accuses. Yeah, I don't know. And that was extreme. So I would say, again, because an innocent person doesn't plead guilty. That's my permanent belief. Because, you have zero integrity if you do. Because, well, you're lying. So if you plead guilty, that means you're lying if you're innocent. Does that make sense? So therefore you're a liar. Therefore you're always scorned as a liar. But Coley said Steve barely tolerates us. Sweet. I know, I yell at my viewers all the time. So if you're new here, welcome. I normally don't do as much interactive chat as I do now, as I'm doing right now. The reason I'm doing it is because this whole 1776 bullshit was live, and a lot of people did it. Hold on, you guys may hear it. And we have our own live streaming platform too, which I'm not logged into, and I really should. Someone's like, go in there. But because I understand people don't even really use it anymore. People always are in there because we air stuff all the time. But yeah, it's just not as many people. But Cat, Freedom Fighter, and Sassy Lady, all of them are in there. But yeah, I'm trying to be nicer. Am I doing a good job? I'm trying to be nicer. Someone said, and I once was an addict. Good. I mean, I'm glad you said it past tense. So you're not an addict anymore. But yes, I don't trust addicts. You know, people that committed, you know, people that do drugs, I just don't like. Is that wrong? I don't think that's wrong. Maybe it is. Maybe it's too crazy. Someone said, am I banned? Are you that person? Hold on, I'm going to tell you real quick if you're going to get banned. Nope, you're not that person. You just have a similar name, Mama something. Someone said, don't change. No, I don't want to change. But the one thing I need to do is find out a way to actually monetize these fucking videos, because YouTube doesn't monetize the videos. And if we get a tiny bit of super chats and all that, that's great. But if, you know, we're not making $200, $300 a day while we're doing these live streams, it's fucking pointless. You know what I mean? And it sucks to say that, but you're not going to hear me do what some of these other streamers and be like, we develop, no, because I'll be like, go buy coffee or do that. Cause it's that way. If we don't make $300, $400 a day in profit, whether you buy shirts, whether you buy coffee, whether you do this. So I'm trying to find the best way to do it. Like, do I, you know, do what all the other people do and do super chats and only read super chat comments? That's not fair because people don't have any money. My goal is to get the people that have money to actually contribute. It's really complex. How many of you guys bought my new book? That's very good. I'm going to go get it. But while I get it, I'm going to show you a quick commercial. We got a half an hour left of this show. Don't go anywhere. Seriously, don't do it.
I work for a federal agency. I've been doing this job for over 23 years. When I come home from work, what's rewarding to me is that I know that I'm out there serving and protecting the citizens of the United States. My job can be dangerous. There's conflict, aggression, and sometimes life-threatening situations. On June 12th, 2018, I was patrolling near a mountain range and I heard a noise in the gravel. I turned and I saw 2 muzzle flashes. It was clear it was an ambush. I was shot 6 times. Getting shot feels like 1,000 needles penetrating your body. I felt immense heat. And then later the pain kicked in and I had to do everything I could to save my own life. I survived because I was wearing my body armor. If not, my wife would be a widow and my daughter wouldn't have a father. Spartan armor saved my life.
Yeah, use code CITIZEN use code Yeet Yeet on Spartan Armor and you get 20% off. 5%. I don't know. Great company. Check them out. They're a great company. Yeah. So I wrote a book. It's called Inside the Mind of Joseph Biden. For real. This is available on Amazon. And I promise you one thing. The pages of this book are as empty as Joe Biden's promises. It's a great stocking stuffer, though, and it's got a little dedication to all Yeeters inside there. Very nice. It's got a great photo of me, I do have to say. Great photo there. And I realized that it was really easy to publish this book, so I'm going to be working quite a bit more. Everyone that did order the One Man, One Scooter Divided America, I haven't finished that book yet, but you are all going to get a shipping notice tomorrow because you're going to get this book. You're going to get a bunch of other shit tomorrow. Well, you'll get a shipping notice tomorrow, but I don't know if you're getting the books because I expected them to come today and they didn't. But we were also listed as a bestseller momentarily on Amazon. I don't know why. We're not anymore, but we were listed as a bestseller temporarily because I think it's because we were number like 9,000 in sales. I think that was 2 days ago because we sold like 50 of them. It's pretty awesome. It's a great stocking stuffer. And all that stuff. So buy like 6 of them and give them to your friends. All right, what else you want me to talk about? I'll just read the chats for a little bit and I'll interact with you for the next 27 minutes. and talk about whatever you want. Very creative. Looks like it took a lot of work. Yeah, it did. And the best part is people are leaving such great comments or great reviews. Like they're like I've got 9 5-star ratings. Love getting a glimpse into the president's inner thoughts. It's amazing. Awesome book. Someone said, awesome books. Pretty neat to see in a book what we already knew. Definitely a must-have, said Arlene. Like Jabbar wrote, this is one of the best sellers. Phenomenal. Janet wrote, I enjoyed flipping page to page. The red one wrote, very insightful. It's great. I love that. I love that. Elfa with a $9 super chat. Thank you so much. Someone said 2 police officers shot in Philadelphia on the 4th. Hear anything about that? I did. I heard there were 2 police officers shot. I believe one of them was released from the hospital. He was shot in the head with a graze wound. He was released. The Philadelphia mayor, I forgot what his name is, he was questioned by journalists last night. And the mayor essentially said he can't wait till he's not mayor anymore so he doesn't have to deal with any of this and he can enjoy it. He said, I don't like going to 4th of July celebrations. I don't like going to the Democrat National Convention. I don't like going to basketball games because there's some sort of violence that happens. He was very, very disgusting is the easiest way to say it. And you will likely hear that on like the news tomorrow or, on Fox News or something. But it's crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Anyway, I'm not seeing any questions. Alpha with a super chat question said, where's the Pelosi DWI? I don't know what you mean. I think her husband, Paul Pelosi, has an arraignment for like August of 2023 or some shit like that. He's got an arraignment from a really long time ago. He has been charged. I think they released the mugshot finally showing him. They released more information about the vehicles. The vehicles were totaled. They said it was a fender bender and that he was drunk. It turns out it was much, much worse than that. So Caddy said, recap on what happened yesterday, please, Steve. I'm clueless about the streamers and pedo issue. I don't really want to. I'm kind of tired of talking about it. I'll talk about it again. Someone said I've helped many addicts, and I have to say, Steve, not all of them are horrible. They are just lost and get caught in a powerful addiction. Yes, but I said I don't like addicts. I didn't say I don't like reformed addicts. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty clear. People have to actually listen to everything I said. What is your view on vets with PTSD having guns? I don't know. I mean, I have PTSD and I have guns. I've been certified as having PTSD and I have guns. I'm just not a nutbag. You know what I mean? I don't think vets are nutbags. My PTSD comes in the forms of nightmares. That's it. Now. And it was because of the fire department and losing kids. Ironically, isn't that weird? Patches, Honey said, I just bought your book. Oh, nice. You just bought the book. It's very good. Very good. It's a real page turner. It's got a special message all the way at the end, too, on the very last page. My wife is like, I can't believe you wrote that. And I'm like, yeah. See, just so you guys see it, it's got a special message on the back page, just in case you miss it, because it opens up with just blank pages, I think. Oh, no, it opens up with saying, are you ready? And then it's 240 empty pages until the back page. That's funny. Someone said, please tell me how I can get the book you just started watching. You can go to this link I'm going to put in the chat right now. Right now. It's like 250 pages. There. That link is in the chat. You could buy it on Amazon. It's like $15 and they ship it right away. I mean, I uploaded this sucker on Thursday or Wednesday or something, and it was approved by Friday. I couldn't believe they approved it. And I ordered my copy on Friday. I got it on Sunday. So they do it pretty quick. I did author copies, which that's what I'm waiting so I could ship out because I didn't want to pay. I paid like full price for this one on my wife's Amazon account because I wanted to. But yeah. I mean, I did it so quick. There's an error on the back, but whatever. Doesn't matter. It's funny. A great stocking stuffer. Everybody should buy it. So you guys want me to talk real quick. Someone said a lot of vets won't seek PTSD help because they worry about their gun rights or because it, yeah, I mean, I've got an acquaintance, all right, that has PTSD. He's got some disability because of PTSD as well. He had to fight for his right to own guns and conceal guns, but also to be a police officer. You know, he was a police officer since then, but he had to fight to do it. He really did. He had to fight because he was taking disability because of PTSD. So he had to prove, he had to go get doctor's notes and all this stuff saying he's good. I know they make it really hard, and it sucks. It sucks. You know, do I believe vets should own guns? Yes, I do. You know, I believe, I mean, I've already said, I believe everyone. And when I said the addicts, I don't trust addicts when they're addicts. I don't believe they should own guns while they're addicts. If they are clear after, and aren't doing drugs, then good. Full Tactical TV said I get 100% PTSD from the VA and I own a shit ton of weapons. Yeah, but so here's my question, Full Tactical. Did you have well, it depends what state you're in too. If you're a law enforcement, that's what I was told. This guy, apparently, he wasn't on full. I think he was like 90% or something like that with PTSD. And from being in combat, and he had a hard time going into law enforcement. He had a really hard time going into law enforcement. I don't necessarily think it had to do with owning guns or buying guns. I think it was more just him, being a police officer. And he was ultimately successful. So that was good. Some Missouri and no was Full Tactical. All right. So that's good. But yeah, I wonder if anyone else, has anyone else in my chat, like if you're a veteran, did you experience issues, like especially if you worked in law enforcement or, well, see, I don't know. I think they do that because does it show? Well, how would they know? Maybe it's federal law enforcement. Does local law enforcement, will they check your military service records and your health records for local law enforcement? I don't know. Someone said, what's the latest on yesterday's shooter in Illinois? He dressed as a woman. That's what is the latest. Gummo on YouTube said, I'm a recovered addict and I don't trust addicts, including myself, when they're addictive in their addiction. That's just common sense. Yeah. A4J Bruno said the NYPD does. Yes. Deborah said, hey, Steve, the other day you said you were going to black out the store windows. How are you going to do that with the coffee shop opening? I haven't figured that out yet. That's what I wanted to do. I think what I'm going to do is do a pull down over the windows, and maybe just curtains, something as simple as curtains where I could pull them this way when we're open, and then at night I could just close them so it's dark in here. Sue Parker said, Deborah, if you want Steve to see your comments, go to YouTube. He reads those comments. LOL. No, I'm actually reading Citizen Stringer too, so fuck all y'all. Texas senator, judges, and sheriffs just had a news conference about Texas saying they're being invaded. Yeah, I know. They advertised this last week and said they were going to do it, but what's it actually going to do? What they're doing is they're saying they're being invaded, and then they're asking Biden to also understand that. They're not going to do that. Jamie said, I have PTSD and got a gun before they push mental health background checks. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true, but they're not pushing for mental health, like universal mental health background checks. They're looking at people that are a risk to themselves or others as it relates to it. Who knows what the hell they want? They don't want us to own guns. It doesn't even matter. Just do mirrored tint. Someone said with the windows. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's funny because right as I was reading Sue's comment, she's right, and he reads those comments on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And then she said, then he will call you out, LOL. And I was like, haha, I'm already there. I called you out, Sue. You're welcome. Dustin Ruffton on Facebook. I mean, that's not good. Saying Oreo is a pedo protector. We don't know that. We don't know anything. And because until I hear from his mouth that he knew pedophiles and child molesters were part of this protest and he was willingly hanging around with it, I don't know. Then I would say, whatever. Chris said, I passed my PTSD thing like 85% normal. I can own weapons and was GAK certified to be an armed private security. Not sure about being a cop. Yeah, but did it pull up? And that's because of military record, right? And I think is it just the military that gives you a ranking on your percentage of your PTSD? I don't know. Well, they never said I was. They said, like, when I was young, I was antisocial. Like, they said I was antisocial. And then the PTSD thing, they said that even before I had the fire department, just from my childhood. They said I had PTSD. And then, obviously, definitely with the fire department, I got it. I couldn't sleep. I was fighting people. It was bad. The Asian Mai show just said the trucker convoys are in DC. There's no truckers. I mean, you see, the Asian Mai guy, he's a clickbait guy. Good guy, but clickbait guy, you know, and he's got a big freaking channel too. It would be amazing if he actually used it to report some real shit. Like he did this whole report that Swift fired this person and it was all completely bogus, and he still puts out videos about that. Someone said you get a bad vibe from Oreo. That's fine. Get a bad vibe from him, but we don't need to pass that on to everybody else. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not, like, here's the thing. I'm not passing judgment on Oreo, and I think a lot of people said I was. I'm not passing judgment on him per se, unless he knew that there were child molesters as part of that group. And then if he did know and he didn't report that to his audience every single day as a disclaimer, like what I would do, yo, so we're independent, right? This is Oreo Express. We're out here live with the 1776 revolution movement, whatever the fuck it's called. We're independent. We need your support to do this. Yes, there are pedophiles as part of this group, but none of the money you contribute to me will be going to the pedophiles. Unless there's some sort of disclaimer there. You know what I mean? Full clarity, because I would be pissed if I like donate him like $5 or something, and I've contributed money to him. I gave him $100 when he was out in California fighting against, ironically, people that were calling people pedophiles. But I gave him $100 during that event. But that would be like him, like if he like bought like a soda and gave it to him or gave it to one of those pedophiles, then I would personally feel this sense of rage that I couldn't describe, knowing that I gave him money to support himself, but then he like gave a water or like waved or addressed or even acknowledged the existence of any of those pedophiles. You know what I mean? Someone said, yes, he did know he banned anyone that said anything. Well, I mean, I don't care. Again, I don't care. Like, that's Oreo Express is nothing to me. You know what I mean? I don't know him. I didn't make this video to criticize him. You know what I mean? I didn't criticize him. Everyone's quiet now on Citizen Stringer because they're all worried that I'm going to be calling them out. No, you're all good. I see you. I see you there. Sue and Amy and Kat, they're all like, open up, talk. Just a lazy gamer has a new video. Shout out to you. LOL. Okay, cool. I probably will never watch it because I don't care. Someone said, I just sent your book to my homeschool grandkids so they could write a book report. Oh, can I have it? Find the Right Passion said, thank you, Steve. I was in foster care at 12. That should say a lot. Love you and your family. Be the people. Yeah, no problem. Someone said, my son is a fireman. He's seen some very bad things. He has worked through most of it, but it will stay for him a lifetime. Yeah, a lot of people, I thought I would be able to deal with it. Like, we had one call, and I never really talk about this stuff, but whatever. We had one call where a guy hit a tree doing 85 miles an hour. One arm was ripped off, one leg was ripped off, and he was awake, conscious. You know, he wasn't really alert and oriented and all that stuff, but he was awake. He was talking. He didn't realize that he was missing his leg or anything like that. And that call, that's where I had to restrain the police officer. On that call, everything was weird. You know what I mean? But we did what they call critical incident debriefing after that. So they put everyone in a room and you sit down and they go through this thing and they're like, anything you say here is, there's no penalty for it. You can say whatever you want. Cops are crying. The flight medics, because we called the helicopter, but the guy kept dying, so they had to keep living before he finally just died. But I literally was not impacted at all. Didn't lose any sleep, slept like a baby. All these other people were super affected. And I go back to my EMT training, and I had this teacher that was a medic for years and years and years. And he's like, you are going to think you're able to deal with it until you get that one call that you're not going to be able to deal with it. And that's when he's like, that's when you have to talk to someone. That's when you have to do it. So I had call after call after call. I wasn't a firefighter for a long time. Like I started as an EMT, and then, you know, within a year I was a firefighter, and I was only a firefighter for maybe a year, you know, maybe 2 years. So in all, I worked in emergency medical for like 2.5 years, something like that. But I worked a lot. I had to, because you don't make shit in public service. And, you know, all those other calls, I mean, I saw a guy shoot himself. You know what I mean? We had to deal with that. None of that stuff affected me. Car accidents, you know, body parts, none of that got me. You know, dead people, a ton, doing CPR on people. Doing CPR on kids, that's something that sucks, especially when they don't survive. And that's what did me in. That was the last call. It was, you know, we did CPR on a kid, little girl that looked just like my son. Same age, same everything, except she had long hair. And she didn't make it. And my partner quit, like literally that day, never came back. And I made it like 2 more months until I just couldn't do it anymore. And had a slight, you know, started punching people, didn't know how to deal with it. And, you know, my wife is still pissed because I didn't tell her. I didn't talk about any of my calls because I couldn't. And maybe people that work in that line of work, they'll understand, because when you work in my wife is the type of person that she always tries to find the bright side of things. And when you're talking about death and destruction, especially when it involves children, there is no bright side. At least to me, there isn't. And I can't find it, nor do I want to hear someone telling me how I should and shouldn't receive something. So for a long time, I didn't talk to her about any of it. You know what I mean? I tried to, and she'd be like, oh, you gotta, and I'm like, fuck this. No, because then I'd be pissed off and I'd start thinking about it, and I'd be thinking about it when I'm on shift. And a lot of times you get tired, you know what I mean? Because I worked for this one AMR like spinoff in Worcester, Massachusetts, super busy service. And I worked a 28-hour shift. That was my actual schedule because it was so far from us. And I would be so tired at the end of the shift. I used to try to drive home and not be able to, and I'd have to pull over on the side of a road in like rural Massachusetts and just sleep, because I just couldn't even make it home. But, yeah, you know, someone said, I can't stand being asked what caused my PTSD. It makes me feel, it doesn't make me anymore, because I can kind of talk about it. Like, I don't go into detail, you know what I mean? Because I remember, like with the last call, I remember every graphic detail, you know, but I'd probably start crying and all that stuff. So I try not to talk about it. But, you know, other than, you know, just that, you know, because again, those are experiences, you know, I thought about, you know, and I kept my license live, my EMT license. You know, I got certified in Florida before we even moved there, even though I wasn't working in the service anymore, because I always thought I'd go back. And then when we were thinking about moving up here, I made the determination that I'll never go back, because I'm not going to be able to do it. You know I won't. I'll still go into it and stare. Like, I'll stare at my son, because then I start thinking about, like, you know, if she was alive and, you know, his age and just all sorts of weird stuff. So, and I tell you, she was a spitting image of him, except with long hair. So yeah, it fucked me over really bad. But someone said, oh, you're a asshole. It makes sense. Yeah, it does. But someone else said some other channel is calling me a far right wing person. That's fine. Anyone who watches my channel knows I'm not far right. So, you know, people could say that. Hell, I don't even like Republicans anymore. I am what you call a rational American. It's someone that thinks with their brain instead of their wallets. I mean, I think with my wallet too when I got to buy gas, which I have to do today. But yeah, I don't really care about any of those people. I don't care about the other streamers. I don't, you know, I don't know. You know, I was trying to think, is there a way to, like, for the 1776 restoration movement or whatever, to like have any sort of semblance of integrity? I just don't know. I don't know. You know, I don't know. Green Mountain Off Grid said Vermont here, brother. Yeah, so you know, I was in Vermont. That's where I was licensed in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. And the department was in Vermont, and one of the EMS services was in Vermont. But Someone said, stay out of streamer politics. You know, it's funny because the Quartering is a guy that's on YouTube. He's got a massive fucking channel too. He's always in all these battles on and does these videos, and he gets so many views and he makes so much money, and it pisses me off. You know, and I'm like, do I just need to make like reaction videos and just flip out on people all the time? That's just not who I am, and it sucks. You know, it sucks because I wish sometimes I wish our videos were monetized on Facebook. You know what I mean? Because that would be at least one thing. Like if we were getting 10 or 15,000 views on every single video we ever put out and every view is monetized, it'd be great. I wish that, you know, every person watching YouTube would contribute super chats and all that, but it's not realistic. You know, or everyone would go to Pure Truth Coffee and order some of the best damn coffee you've ever had. I mean, but it's not realistic because not everybody can afford $17 bags of godliness, you know, because that's what my coffee is. It's literally like you're drinking something made from God, you know, just be honest. That's what it is. It's amazing. Someone said, didn't they used to be monetized? Yeah, but then they flag it all the time. So there's no point. I don't even try to get my videos monetized, you know, but I don't know. Maybe I'll start bickering with streamers. I'll just pick on bigger streamers and just be like, yo, you hear what stupid asshole said today about it? And just try to go back and forth. And then all you guys can run over there and be like, he said all this stuff. So they make a reaction video and then people, you know, because that's how they build channels. I get it. I know that's why they do it. Someone said far lefty calls you far righty. Yeah. Coley said, my comment about combat vets not seeking PTS treatment for fear of losing guns was reported as false news. I wouldn't be surprised. Do you sell beans or just ground? No, we have, if you want whole bean, I have, if you go to the Wake Up America blend on puretruthcoffee.com, you will see whole bean as an option. We don't have any other whole bean because we didn't really sell a lot of it, and I like to sell fresh coffee. That's why we have dates. Someone said, Steve, your camera keeps refocusing on you. Kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't give two fucks, really. Thank you, though, Douglas. Welcome to the show, Douglas. But, yeah, we don't sell enough of the whole bean to do that. And all of our coffee's fresh. Like, unlike all these other fucking streamers that create coffee, you know what we do on the back of the coffee? Matter of fact, I'll show you. What time? I got 5 minutes. Hold on. So on the back here, I gotta move this so I can actually see the screen. So on the back of our coffee bags, so this is a French vanilla. On the back of our coffee bags, we have the roast date. See what I mean? So you can order the coffee, you know when we actually roasted the coffee. Who else does that? Nobody. We are fresh coffee. And a lot of these other, I've seen some, I'm not going to call them out, but I've seen people saying they're packaging and they're using stock footage. They're not packaging the damn coffee. They're not packaging the coffee. We package all of our coffee here. It's a pain in the ass. And I wish we didn't have to. We're going to be switching to a new roaster, but I don't feel they're going to be able to match these roasts. So we're going to carry, you're going to see, we're going to have all these new roasts, or all of these roasts, but all the new roasts are going to be different. They're going to be from a different package. So, the French vanilla is, I think, a medium roast. We have a couple of dark, the Victory Victory or Death is a dark roast. Flying High is a dark roast. And, yeah. The French roast is pretty dark too, to be honest. Pardon my French roast. That's pretty dark too. I like that. My personal favorites and our best seller is the Awake Not Woke, which is like a medium roast. That's my personal favorite. It's what I drink every day. And then Wake Up America is pretty good too. And then the Harlem's Finest is really good as well. Someone said, Steve, read my comments. But yeah. Someone said you'd like a medium roast. Well, go over. Didn't you see what I did on the website? Sorry, guys. I got 3 more minutes till my show's over. Did you see what I did on the website? If you go to puretruthcoffee.com, it's all new because I'm fucking godlike like that, right? I do all my website design myself, too, which is why if you see errors, I don't care. But if you go to coffee now, you can choose light roast, medium roast, or dark roast. So our medium roasts are the Flying High. Well, see, that's like a medium dark, okay? Our new donut shop one is on a pre-order. It's brand new. In our Firehouse blend, you don't actually get the coffee. You're donating that as part of our Firehouse program. We're creating a program where we are actually going to supply coffee to I'm going to start it off with 40 firehouses here in Northern Virginia for free every single month. And you can buy and donate and leave a card in the boxes that we're going to be distributing to the firehouses beginning on August 1st of this year. So you can do that. You can read more about that program on the website as well. But if you go to coffee, you'll see that that's a Firehouse thing. It talks about there, and you could donate the bag, or you could do delivery right to your house, or you can look at like our dark roasts. The Harlem's Finest is pretty dark. Sleepy Joe, believe it or not, even though it's decaffeinated, this is a pre-order as well. It won't ship until the 21st or 25th, whatever it was. Victory or Death is good, though. I really like it. Victory or Death and the French Vanilla. I don't like flavored coffee, but the French Vanilla, I tell you what, this is the best smelling coffee ever. I want to, even though I don't like flavored coffee, I will probably brew, when we open the coffee shop on the 1st, I will probably brew a pot of this just so it smells like that in this place, because it does. It smells so damn good. But yep, and then we got the Wake Up America blend as well. All right, everyone on Citizen Stringer, you're going to automatically switch over to the Pete Santilli show, which is going to be live here any minute. This 2-hour extravaganza. Do you guys like the 2-hour show? Because if you do, maybe I'll do it more. As long as I make money. I got to make money doing this. If I make money, then I'll keep doing it. Anyway, maybe I'll do it every day as a 2-hour show, 4 to 6, if we get views. We had good views, but yeah, Citizen Stringer, Pete Santilli is going to come on live. Everyone else, I will see you tomorrow. This show is going to replay on Citizen Stringer at 9 p.m. and again at 6 a.m. All right? So you know what? I'll do this. I'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern time for my new special Wake Up America 2-hour show. You're welcome. All right? We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.